dream doula.
Oh yeah, I call myself a dream doula. And yes, I love to help people go toward a dream or a goal that they would have, like something in life that is so big. It's not like they know all the steps to get there. They have no idea how they would get there. They need help from a higher power to get there. That goal or dream is going to be a benefit to other people. And that's what I do in my coaching programs. And also, I love to talk to people about the dreams they have at night. Like, hey, did you have a dream recently that you think is really confusing that you want to share with me? I'd love to chat with you about it.
Wow. Okay. Well, actually, I have not. And when I do remember my dreams, when I do have my dreams, they're pretty cool. I mean, as of late, and with my body's production of melatonin, I can have some, but I don't remember the last dream I've had, that left me going, But I'm going to ask you, do you have your own podcast?
Yeah, I do. What do I call it? I think I call it Spilling Tea with D. It's on YouTube and it's on all the podcast channels. I just started.
You have an amazing voice.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so dreaming is so fun. I tell people, like, the first dream I remember, do you want to hear it? I was a little kid. I was a little kid, so before kindergarten, because I wasn't in school yet. And I dreamt that I was walking in my childhood home. I lived on this family compound. My aunt and uncle lived across the driveway. My grandparents lived down below us. And so in dreamland, I'm walking around, and I grew up in Seattle. So it was raining in the dream. Rain was dripping down I'm walking underneath this deck, and I see rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. So in the dream, they're actual, like, hairy guys. I can see their chest. One of them scrubbing his back with a big scrubber, and there's bubbles everywhere. One of them smoking a cigar, and he says to me, "Hey, little girl, come over here." And I said, "No." And he said, "Yes, you have to." And in the dream, I put my hands on my hips and I said to him, "I don't have to do anything because this is my dream. And if I want to, I can wake up." And he said, "No, you can't." And so I said, "Watch." And in the dream, I squeezed my eyes shut really, really tight. And when I opened them, I was in my bed, awake. And I thought, that was so cool. I'm going back and I'm going to say, "Neener, neener, neener." So I closed my eyes to go back into the dream, but I never got back into that dream.
Yeah, that's interesting, though, that we have these dreams, and oftentimes we actually do have that lucid moment, and we wind up maybe controlling, so to speak, and then we wake up, but we can't get back to that space. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. That's actually how I use lucid dreaming. And some people can stay in the dream and they know they're dreaming and they can fly or manipulate things or do fun things. For me, if I'm in a really, really frightening dream, like I'm falling down a cliff or I'm crashing a car or something is like the dream that you scream in, but you can't scream or you can't run. If I realize I'm dreaming, I'm like, "Oh, hey, it's a dream." And as soon as I shift the dream, I wake up out of it.
Yes.
But it would be fun to stay in there and, like, do fun things. I haven't figured out, there's a process of how to do that. I can't do it yet.
Well, I do remember this one dream. It's probably the first dream that I had when I was a little kid, because I know that I was okay. Now, do you remember the song "Smoke on the Water"?
Yeah.
Okay. Deep Purple. Okay. So I don't know whether I loved the song or not at the time, but ever since then, I came to really like the song, especially when I found out what it was based on. But I was a kid. I'm from New York, and in my dream, everybody was running. There was this giant ghost floating over the city as if it was attacking the city. And everybody was running, and for some reason that song was playing.
Wow. Well, what's the story about the song? I don't know that.
Oh, Smoke of the Water was actually a song. If you listen to the song, it's about the band actually going to play, and they were opening for Frank Zappa up, I think, out in Switzerland or somewhere like that. And the venue where they were playing caught fire, and so there, and it was right there by a lake, so there was literally smoke on the water, and some of them, one of them was actually trying to help people, save people and things like that. But it was such a heavy experience that they wrote the song.
And your dream is kind of like that song. Like the story behind the song is like the story behind your dream. You're like running from this ghost or escaping a smoky fire.
Yeah.
I wonder what was happening in your waking life when you had that dream. Do you remember?
I don't know. I was literally in the crib.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You were that young?
Yes.
So cool that you remember that
Yeah.
from being so young.
Well, the song played all that, all these years. I remember. Now, the other thing that I would say has more recently become a question of was it a waking dream? Was it a dream, or was it a hallucination, or was something weird going on? And I remember being laid down in my parents' room. I was fairly small. And say, for instance, so there's a little cabinet behind you, right? Okay, let's pretend that's a closet. Okay. And the door is open and up against the wall.
Okay.
Where you are right now would be where the bed is, and you're facing that, but you're just kind of laying down doing your baby stuff, right? But I looked at the open closet door, and usually what's hanging there is the white bedgown of my mom, the kind of old-fashioned frilly, modest sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. And what I saw looked like something in the gown, and it was the head of a giraffe poking out and looking at me.
Wow.
I remember crying and crying. And I remember my mom coming in, picking me up. And I remember them, I remember it was like, oh, you just had a dream. I had a dream. And I was like, but of course it was gone, but it was just one of those things. So those are the two interesting and significant childhood dreams.
Oh my gosh, that is so great. Thank you for sharing those stories. It's so amazing that we could have a memory. Like, I forget what I was doing yesterday, but I can remember that dream I had when I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And the thing about dreaming songs is sometimes the whole dream message is inside that song. So I'll sometimes wake up I don't remember any of the dream, but I'll remember a tune or a song. Sometimes I don't even know what the song is. Like the other day, I woke up and I was dreaming this song, but I didn't know what the song was. I couldn't think of the name of it. I don't know if it had lyrics. And so I hummed the song into a recording device, and I called my friend who plays music, and I was like, Roseanne, what is this song? And she's like, what? Let me ask Ted. He knows everything. He's like the jukebox man. And so they came back a few minutes later and sent me a link to this song. And it made sense why I was dreaming it.
What was the song?
I don't remember now. I'd have to look it up. But it was such an interesting connection. Like there's some part of me that's telling me a message in a song that I would know. Then I wake up, I'm like, I don't know that song. Like what? I got to figure out what that song is. But then the lyrics of the song or the name of the song were the answer to the conundrum that I was pondering
Yeah.
in life.
Well, you know, a lot of the inventions that
Yes.
have developed over the years, over the centuries, came about in a dream, you know.
Yes. Did you know that they invented the sewing machine in a dream?
Yeah.
Because the guy dreamt, they were trying to figure out how the sewing machine could like have upper and lower stitches that would connect together. And it was just like no one could figure it out. And this guy dreamt he was being chased by cannibals and they were going to eat him.
Mm.
In the dream, he got killed. But he noticed that the spears they were stabbing him with had holes in the tip. And when he woke up, he said, that's it. The needle has to have a hole in it. And then he finished the invention for the sewing machine as we know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And
it's
books, because you're an author, books, lots of people get ideas for books when they're dreaming. Lots of people get ideas for songs when they're dreaming.
absolutely.
Other inventions. It's fantastic.
You know, it's amazing the way the body works is in being this conduit for information, or and then we have the mind, and of course you have the conscious mind, and then the subconscious mind. Dr. Caroline Leaf, I think she refers to the non-conscious mind, which is the part from the part from whence all the other stuff comes, and it's my thinking, when we oftentimes can't reconcile things from a conscious perspective, many times our subconscious, non-conscious picks up on these subtle cues. Case in point, there are things that you and I notice. Have you ever seen the dancing bear video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're count how many times they're
Right,
making the
right.
basket, but if
Well,
you don't notice, there's a bear walking behind
the
it.
guy in a bear suit, right?
Yeah.
So, but here's what's interesting though. We filtered that out consciously,
Right.
but subconsciously, it's always there.
Right, and there's like what you're talking about is like the collective consciousness, the mind that is available for everyone. So like, have you ever heard that idea? A good idea knows no owner.
I've heard that because I've had so many ideas. George Lucas stole all my stuff.
Right on. So all of us have had a great idea for an invention or a book or a song or a movie, and you don't do anything about it. And a few years later, there's like, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
Those ideas are just out there for us. And I do believe that when you get an idea of something that you could do, the universe will let you do it. The universe will bring you everything you need to do it if you just take a step toward doing it instead of just thinking about it. My mentor, Mary Morrissey, says, what does she say? Inspiration without action is merely entertainment.
That is true.
Yeah, right on. Do you find that when you're counseling your people to be healthier and help themselves through insulin resistance, that they get ideas subconsciously or in dreamland? Like one time I dreamt what I should eat for breakfast, and so I did it.
You know, with in my realm, individuals, the challenge that individuals have is conceiving of what is actually possible. I was just listening to a podcast with Dr. Mark Hyman, and the guest that he had on, I'd heard him before, but they were talking basically about the overwhelming influence of big pharma, big food and big agriculture. And so people are, when people come to me and they want to make the change, they have to have the biggest challenge they have is conceiving before they commit. Because once we really work with that, occasionally someone will have a dream and say, I had this dream, I was 50 pounds lighter, and I was running on the beach, and I had this beautiful redhead with me.
I love it.
I said, are you ready to catch the redhead?
Oh, that is so beautiful.
You see, or it'll be, I had this dream, and in this case, it's more or less, they lost the weight, and I was dancing at a double wedding, my wedding and my granddaughter's wedding. You see.
That just gives me the goosebumps. That's so beautiful.
Say,
obviously, those people
mm-hmm.
were getting direction from their higher self that they can have that.
The idea is to take, that's why I take them through a visualization process. So in doing so, the groundwork is already laid for them to have a non-conscious experience.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But so and many times when they do that, they're more ready to commit and get things done and stick with the program, but not just stick with the program for the 12 weeks, but afterwards to commit to making the change in their life. It's not just about looking good for the cruise. It's about looking good, period. It's about feeling good. It's about reversing your type 2 diabetes. It's about taking care of your metabolic health. So that's the reason why, many individuals have to have that understanding, gone over the days. Well, no, the days are still here because the commercial industry, they really kind of focus on body type for the sake of appearance.
Yes.
But the thing about it, they really don't care about your appearance. They care that you pay for the money that will allow you to fit into what they're selling you for the sake of your appearance.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So that's the bigger challenge with individuals is their ability to conceive, their ability to dream, and be it conscious or non-conscious, is often hijacked by the pre-manufactured dreams of the commercial industry. So
I would love to hear if those two clients of yours got their dream, the running down the beach with the redhead, the double wedding with the grandkid. I want to hear the end of that story.
Well, okay. Well, I'll tell you about one young lady, Miss Stephanie. Okay. She was working, one of the challenges is she was working nights. And I was telling her, in order to really get yourself healthy, you need to get off of the night shift. It's knocking your body totally out of whack. And once she did that, and she continued to take the steps and she applied the exercise, then the weight came down. And next thing you know, she met this incredible guy. And she, I did not go to the wedding, but she did dance at the wedding. Now, her grandchild was still a little too young for marriage, but she danced at her wedding. The dude, okay, he was able to not lose the weight. He packed on some muscle, and now he's gone from a silver hair to a brunette haired, and I believe he's in the process of finding that redhead.